I seem to have managed it. You seem to be able to hear me. You seem to be able to see me, unfortunately, as well. And there you all are. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, good evening as well. Hello. Hello from Birmingham, UK. Not very exotic. Yes, but it's full of wonderful people, OJ. So don't do Birmingham down. I had a great night out in Birmingham many, many years ago after watching the cricket at Edgbaston. And I don't remember much, but it was great fun. It is a nice sunny day here in London. You're absolutely right. And here I am cooped up in a studio with all the windows closed because we've got the Hare Krishnas going past the office very soon. And they're going to make an enormous amount of noise, I think. But yes, thanks for joining, everyone. As usual, we've got some people joining from amazing locations from Marbella. I was in Marbella just a few weekends ago for a friend's birthday. It's a lovely place. Welcome. So from Miami, I was there recently as well. From Malta, Singapore, Australia, Nebraska, USA. How was your Turkish meal in Tottenham? Thanks for asking, Duncan. It was absolutely delicious, thanks. Yeah, I have never had a bad Turkish meal in Tottenham. I went to a place on very near the Beehive pub, if anyone knows it. I've criminally forgotten the name of it, but it's opposite it's very near the Lidl, or is it the Aldi on that main road? Highly recommended. I'm very well, thanks, Crypto Fish. How are you doing, sir? Very good. Thank you for joining us. Ethiopia, Bahamas. Wow, this is amazing. Raleigh, North Carolina. Hello from Canada, Argentina, Brooklyn, NY. Amazing. We're truly decentralized, aren't we, folks? Truly just spread all over the world. These wonderful locations, including Northampton, UK. Yes. And Dumfries, Scotland. Yeah. What will happen to ETH? Oh, good question. Yeah, there's been a bit of fun around ETH, wasn't there? I think ETH's going to be just fine. I'm not 100% convinced that the merge is going to happen in August. Not because I think there's anything particularly dodgy out there, but I just think they're going to be so careful about rolling it out. So I wouldn't be that surprised if they delayed the merge again. But I don't think that would be catastrophic. I don't think that would be too bad. Obviously, the price would almost certainly take a dip, which might be a buying opportunity, not financial advice. But yeah, well, talking about buying in general, no, I am not a financial advisor, Carlos. Goodness me. Yeah, talking about buying in general. Well, I'm going to talk about the sort of general state of the market in a few minutes' time. I mean, we could just have a quick look at shall we have a quick look at the market? Let's have a quick look at the market. Yep, there's the market. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's there's not an awful lot to say about the market at the moment, is there? You knew a Hare Krishna guy once. He was a real jerk that cursed like a sailor. Wow. Okay. I mean, they look all very sort of cuddly and, they're all going around ringing their bells and stuff, but maybe beneath the surface. So, am I the guy on Drive to Survive? No, I'm not. I haven't been moonlighting. It could be a good career option in future, couldn't it? So, how are you all doing? How is everyone? How is everyone's bear market? Yeah, are we getting through it? Okay, and are people able to hear me all right? Can you hear me on TikTok? And can you hear me on clips as well? Good. Okay. Thanks for all the compliments, guys. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's been a rough couple of weeks, hasn't it? I'm not going to. We could talk a little bit about Terra and Luna, couldn't we? I suppose. But I mean, I put out a video last week about my sort of thoughts on the whole Terra thing, and yeah, I mean, I'm just going to refer you to that really because I've kind of said, I don't know, I just feel I've kind of said all I can really say about Terra. Obviously, we're getting the news at the moment that they're going to, the relaunch is tomorrow, isn't it? Terra 2.0 for those feeling brave. Terra 2.0 is incoming tomorrow. We're not gonna see any UST. They've actually been burning UST. I noticed 11% of the UST supply, 1.3 billion, has been burned. So, I mean, and we're obviously, people are going to get airdropped. I mean, how much they're going to get airdropped is not entirely clear, and obviously people are are kind of holding out hopes that they're going to get all their money back, and they ain't. But I mean, if they can get a little bit back, then that's something. But look, folks, yeah, I mean, we've all been talking about Terra for a long time now, and yeah, I kind of feel it's about time to move on, don't you? But yeah, obviously, if we get some developments in that, if we get things sort of worth talking about, then we'll keep you posted, and we can maybe discuss it in a future live stream. So, yeah, morale seems pretty high looking at the comments. I mean, yeah, we've obviously, I think not many people are going to be in profit, are they? So yeah, I mean, we are now thoroughly into the bear market. A couple of weeks in, some people would argue, wouldn't they, that we've been kind of in a bear market since November, and I think, well, it's kind of up for debate. But I mean, the main thing is that we're in one now. There's no debate about that. So, a lot of people have been asking me how long I think this bear market could possibly go on for, and well, I mean, I think we are in for at least a year of this, folks. And when I say at least a year, I mean at least a year. I think, yeah, we're going to see this. This is going to last for a long time, and for a lot of people, it's going to take a bit of getting used to, because if you remember on a previous live stream not all that long ago, I was talking about how the statistics were showing just an enormous amount of people got into crypto last year, got into crypto in 2021. And it was their first entry point into the wonderful world of crypto. And obviously they won't have experienced a bear market before. They'll have only known really prices going up. They'll have only known the bull market. And it's going to be a scary time for those folks. So if that's you, I understand that this is difficult. And I know that it can be pretty depressing looking at your portfolio and seeing all that red. So my first tip would be, folks, if your portfolio is getting you down, just don't look at it, because it's not going to do anything exciting for the foreseeable future, I think. And as I say, I think we've got at least a year of difficult times ahead, and look, possibly more. The next Bitcoin halving isn't until 2024. Now, going on past market cycles, that would be when I think a lot of people would expect the next bull market to kick in, if we stay in the current cycle of cycles that we're in. But I mean, there's no guarantee of that. And part of the reason I say that is because obviously of all the macro factors. Yep, it's those macro factors again. All those macro factors that have been weighing on the markets. And we really are living through unprecedented times. I mean, that's a word that's been overused a lot with COVID and things like that, isn't it? But yeah, this is a very strange time to be alive. It's a very uncertain time to be alive. And as I always say, uncertainty is what the markets hate more than anything else. And I think we are stuck with this uncertainty for a while yet. So just FYI on that one, folks. So yeah, a lot of people ask me what the best thing, how do you cope in a bull market? What's the best way in a bear market? What's the best thing to do when things go bearish? And my instinct is to say, first of all, if in doubt, do nothing. Like, this is not a time to go aping into the markets. This is not a time, certainly, to go plunging into altcoins, to be making big buys or anything like that. This is a time to be as cautious as possible, folks. And like I say, if in doubt, do nothing, because yeah, I think we're going to see, but I don't think the bottom is in. That's for sure. I think we're going to see a lot lower prices, quite possibly for BTC, and almost certainly for a lot of alts as well, if not most alts. So do bear that in mind, folks. And I know that feeling of not knowing what to do, of not being able to think of anything to do, that can be quite that can be difficult. That can be quite disempowering, can't it? And I think it's a really important thing to just try and let that go. Sort of see it as an opportunity just to relax a little bit. And I was listening to, welcome everyone, by the way. Sorry, I've just been rabbiting on for the past 5 minutes, and I'm seeing all these messages. So yeah, I just want to welcome everyone again. Is it worse than 2017? 2017, well, late 2017, early 2018 was when the it was more sort of early 2018 when the last bear market set in. Is it going to be worse? Well, it's going to be different. It's going to be a lot different, and that is because the global situation, the macro situation, is very different. Because for one thing, crypto is not used to being in a high rates environment, and interest rates are creeping up. Yep, I'm talking about interest rates again. Interest rates are creeping up, and we had news from the Fed. The Fed released their minutes yesterday, and basically more interest rates hikes on the way probably until 2024, unless anything in the market breaks. So this is very much new ground for crypto. This is not a situation that we're used to. We have seen bumps in interest rates before in crypto, whilst crypto's been around. But a sustained period of rising rates is something new for this space. So it's hard to know how the space is going to react to it. I think it's going to stick around, that's for sure. It's not going to go to zero. But it's going to be very interesting to see how crypto reacts to being in a high rates environment. And again, that just means a lot of uncertainty. So sit tight, folks. Sit tight. And this is a great opportunity. And this is something I really want to hammer home a few times during this stream today. Like, try and see this bear market, these tough times, as an opportunity. Sort of a lot less hype, a lot less FOMO flying around, a lot fewer people telling you to YOLO and all that sort of crap. This is a good opportunity to spend time researching projects you're interested in, having a look at the broader landscape, learning, building, creating, thinking, and not worrying too much about whether you're late to the party on a particular altcoin, or whether you should have tried to catch BTC at this price level, or whatever it is. So yeah, chill down a bit, guys. Chill down. Treat this as an opportunity, because prices will go up eventually. Like I say, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could even be longer than that. Let's face it. A lot of people I notice saying 2025 rather than 2024. And obviously I say 2024 sort of provisionally, because that's when the next Bitcoin halving is due. And as you know, the Bitcoin halving generally tends to mark the start of a bull market. So 2024 possibly, but very likely 2025 as well. So, don't hold your breath, folks. But, don't go anywhere as well. Am I Satoshi Nakamoto? Wow. That would be a great that would be a great thing to admit on this stream, wouldn't it? No, I am not Satoshi Nakamoto. I can say that with all certainty, because for one thing, I just can't code. And for many other reasons as well. But I really hope. I used to really hope that one day we'd find out who Satoshi was, but actually I don't anymore. And I think it's really, really important for the future of Bitcoin and the future of crypto that we never find out who Satoshi was. And we can keep speculating, because I think it's quite fun to speculate. And I've promised Mad Mike that we're going to do a Satoshi Nakamoto episode of the podcast before. I've done videos in the past on YouTube about who I think are the possible Satoshi candidates. So I don't think there's any harm sort of speculating, because I don't think any of them are likely to actually be Satoshi. But I hope we never find out. I look like Satoshi. We are Satoshi Nakamoto. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Alex. We're all Satoshi. How do you know I look like Satoshi, Fajita? Interesting. So how's everyone doing? How's everyone surviving? How's everyone's morale? As you'll see, I am solo today, flying solo. Laura is in the office, keeping me company and sort of generally providing moral and also tech support. But Macy has flown away again. She's off in Spain at the moment. She's been visiting her parents in Spain. and posting TikTok videos with beautiful sunshine and what I think looked like a swimming pool in the background of one of them, which is just beyond the pale. So Macy, if you're watching, just what? Spare a thought for us. It's been terrible weather back here in London, as it always is. Although it is beautiful today. So anyone out in London, it is a hot day in London. Bloodhound, you're right. You're right. I went out earlier, and it was pretty sweaty. It was pretty sweaty. Make the most of it, because it won't last. So how's everyone getting on? How many turnips for one chicken? Has it really got to that? Is that the monetary system? Are we back to turnips and chickens? I think Mike and I were talking about that in an early podcast episode, weren't we? Perhaps we need to go back to a monetary system, invent a monetary system of turnips and chickens. Certainly do better than the current fiat system, wouldn't it? How do you do your own rhymes? Yes, I do. Although I do get help. No, that's not entirely true. I do get help from members of the team. We have a sort of communal. We have an open Google Doc where members of the team can drop in their own rhymes, their own ideas for rhymes, and then when I'm putting a video together, I will steal those rhymes and basically credit myself with having come up with them. That's a little insight into the inner workings of the Coin Bureau here. Basically, the rhymes are a team effort to a large extent, but I take all the credit because that's just me. I'm just an awful human being like that. Nothing I can do about it. Yes, no, I do get a lot of help, and there are some good lyricists on the team as well. Some good poets out there. I must say, I wish I could come up with these rhymes sort of in real time, but my mind doesn't work that fast. They have to be created. They have to be crafted on paper first. So I hope that hasn't broken the illusion. Anyone thinking they just pop out of my mind. I tried to do it once and it was embarrassing, and I did ask that the footage be destroyed, but people do threaten me and say that it might still be around somewhere. So that keeps me in line. Anyhow, bought more Litecoin today on the cheap. Okay, interesting. Well, I hope that was for the long term. Obviously, we had some developments recently with Litecoin, didn't we, with Mimblewimble? But yeah, I mean, if you are buying at the moment, folks, not necessarily something I would recommend buying, but not to say Litecoin, I just wouldn't recommend buying in general. But if you are buying at the moment, then folks, please have a long-term outlook on this. Keep it very, very long-term, because you're not going to realize big gains on the daily in the short term. That is for sure. That, I'm afraid, is all part and parcel of being in a bear market. So if you are investing, folks, then please have an eye on gains measured in years' time rather than weeks or even months, because those times are the good times are still a little way away. But you know what I'm really pleased to see is that even in a bear market, even though times are tougher than they've been for years, really, in crypto and in the wider world in general, it's so great that there are still so many of you who are, you're here because you love crypto. You're not here just to make a quick buck, and you're here to learn, here to talk about crypto, here to be part of the community, and that is great. Absolutely, Victor. Patience is key. The race goes to the patient, not the swift. No, I've just mangled that. Anyhow, patience. Yeah, hare and the tortoise and all that. So. Hold on in there, folks. What else did I want to say about the bear market? I mean, just for context as well, obviously we're seeing prices down in the crypto charts. I mean, it's pretty rough out there in the stock markets as well. Tech stocks are being absolutely killed at the moment. All those tech stocks that pumped so hard during the pandemic are having a rough time too, and a lot of them are down a lot more than even some cryptos. So it's tough out there too. Staking is the go-to strategy in a bear market. I think you might have a good point there, Andrew. staking, keep just let it accrue. You can stake, do your part to help secure the network, and get some returns in the meantime. And try not to worry about buying or selling. That is for the future. That is a lot further down the line. How are we all getting on here? Staking UST, George, please. Too soon. Look, there was a lot of a quick recommendation of stuff to listen to other than me. I was listening to a recent episode of the Up Only podcast, which is Kobe and Ledger. I'm sure some of you have heard of Up Only. If not, it is a great podcast. They also stream on Twitch, and I think YouTube and various other places as well. But I like to listen to them as a podcast. So Kobe and Ledger, who are two of the best minds in the whole crypto space, they had an episode of Up Only the other day or last week, which was titled Down Badly. And they were talking with Cred and Jim Talbot. It's quite a long one. It's about sort of 3 or 4 hours, as I remember. But it's a really good discussion with some very, very smart people. I'm afraid that the tone is overall sort of rather bearish. It's a bit of a gloomy outlook at the moment that they've got on crypto, but with good reason. But again, long term, they're all working on their golf swings by the sound of it. And so if you guys are looking for something to do, I've heard a lot of people in crypto at the moment, and sort of just kind of people in the space just going, now is probably a good time to work on your hobbies, whatever that might be. So if any of you have got some good hobbies to recommend, and put them in the comments. Nothing too spicy, please. But yeah, it's tough out there. It's a time to not worry about the charts. Close the portfolio app on your phone and go for a walk, especially if you're in sunny London. Go out and just feel the sun on your face and forget all about it for a little while. It'll still be here tomorrow. Read Ian Banks. I very much enjoy reading Ian Banks, Peter. I remember reading The Wasp Factory when I was about sort of 13 or 14 and being quite disturbed. But what's my favorite Ian Banks? Complicity. I absolutely loved Complicity. That is a really good read. So yeah, read a good book. Read a good book that has maybe absolutely nothing to do with crypto. What's the podcast called again? I was going to say the Coin Bureau podcast. No, Up Only was the podcast I was talking about. Up Only with Kobe and Ledger. I think it's on most major podcast platforms, but if you can find it on Google as well, and stream it on Twitch, or watch it on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. It's really, really good. And those guys are Kobe and Ledger. They're very, very knowledgeable, and also very, very funny as well. And actually, speaking of Kobe, one of the videos we've got coming out next week, I've got a review of Lido Finance, which I'm sure many of you know. That's where an enormous amount of ETH is being staked at the moment. Of Beacon Chain ETH is being staked at the moment, because obviously Lido Finance offers liquid staking, so you can stake, but then you also get ST ETH. This kind of, I guess it's kind of a receipt token, really, which you can then trade. But obviously, now is not really a time for trading. But yeah, Kobe is, for those of you who didn't know, Kobe is actually one of the original founders of Lido Finance, which I think is very interesting. But yeah, do give Up Only the podcast a listen. And the episode I was talking about was Down Badly, but I mean, they're all good. Are you the real Al Pacino, the one asking about Cadena? Because I haven't really covered Cadena in any detail. This the sort of it's being developed by, was it Goldman's or Morgan Stanley? Cadena is one of those projects that I keep sort of meaning to look into. So Al, if that is you, I will look into it at some point. But it's been a long time since I last looked at that. I remember it pumping absolutely like crazy recently. So Al, all right, yeah, you can stop asking now, Al. I don't think that is the real Al Pacino in the comments on Coin Bureau clips. I mean, I'd love it if it was. Anyhow, so what else was I going to talk about today? So yeah, in terms of buying and selling, in terms of what's happening out there in the markets, folks, as I said, it's not a time to be trying to trade. Basically, speculation is not a time for speculation. Basically, all there is out there at the moment is it's only fundamentals. So you need to keep an eye. If you're looking into crypto projects, more so than ever, you need to be looking at projects with good use cases. It's also worth looking at the projects that are attracting sort of big investments from the likes, of course, of A16Z, because I don't know if any of you noticed, but just yesterday, I think it was, A16Z announced a new fund for crypto startups for crypto and blockchain startups for $4.5 billion. And that is absolutely insane. And I tell you what, if during the last bear market, if someone had said to me in 2018, hey, 4 years' time from now, we'll be in another bear market, but an enormous VC firm will announce that it's earmarked $4.5 billion to invest into crypto, I would, I'd have had a hard time believing them. I think I'd have fallen over. So there's a bit of context for you guys. There's a bit of context as to how much the crypto market has changed, to how much has happened, how far we've come in the last 4 years. We're only just entering the latest bear market, and we've already got the word of a $4.5 billion investment that's going to be invested into crypto over the coming months and years from A16Z. So just keep that in mind, folks. And if you want a good resource for following, for seeing where these investments go, then one Telegram channel, which I think I've mentioned on one of these live streams before, one Telegram channel I like to follow is ICO Analytics. And I talked about this. I actually did a YouTube video as well on my top crypto Telegram channels, and ICO Analytics is one of them, and it's very, very good. It's very, very good at keeping track of where investment is going in the crypto space. And actually, that's how I got news just the other day of this big raise from A16Z. So yeah, if you're on Telegram, ICO Analytics, I think in brackets stand with Ukraine at the moment, so you might have to search that as well. That is a really good resource, and you can sort of keep track of all the money that's being pumped into crypto, what projects are getting funding, and that should be an important part of your research as well. If you're looking into projects to maybe invest in at some point, look where the smart money's going. Look where the likes of A16Z and all these other big VCs, where are they putting their money? Because Terra was a nasty bump to earth for a lot of them. And I mean, there were some absolutely massive losses from that, weren't there, for VCs in particular. But yeah, that's not going to stop them. That's not going to stop them investing in the technology. They are still bullish AF. So keep an eye on where that big institutional money is going, because that could give us some good indicators as to what the big projects are going to be come the next bull market, which, as I say, is a while away. So how do you find that info? Where do I see ICO Analytics is a Telegram channel. And if you want more Telegram channels to check out my top Telegram channels over on our main YouTube channel. What does VC stand for? It stands for Victoria Cross. It stands for venture capital. So how are we all doing? Do I play any crypto games? Do you mean like sort of crypto kind of blockchain games, that sort of thing? Because I was chatting with some of the people in the office about this just the other day, actually, and I think obviously the whole GameFi sector, we saw a big explosion in that. We saw a whole lot of fuss around metaverses, NFTs, play to earn. We've obviously had all the business with Steppen recently. So this is a sector that is obviously not going to go away. It's certainly the future. But what I'm going to be looking out for is I'm looking out for a blockchain game that kind of puts gameplay above everything else. Because let's face it, some of these blockchain games, most of them, the gameplay, the graphics aren't
aren't anything to get particularly excited about. You know, we're not at that stage yet. The underlying tech is absolutely amazing, and the promise of what they're going to be able to do in the future is absolutely amazing. But what I'm really excited about now is looking out for a blockchain-based game, a play-to-earn game, whatever it is, that puts gameplay first, and it is actually a real pleasure to play, because I think that is going to be, that is going to be an interesting project to follow, and that I think will be a good signal that the market, that part of that sector of the market is picking up. So yeah, let's keep a lookout. Let's keep a lookout for that. Thoughts on GTA 5? I've never played it. I can't remember what GTA I played briefly, but yeah, I don't think it was 5. So how are we all getting on? Any plans for the weekends, folks? I tell you what, some of my plans are. So next week I am off to Dubai for, well, I think I'm going to go for a few weeks actually, because basically a couple of friends of mine are out there, and they've said that I can come and stay with them for a little bit. And to be honest, I've been really, really curious. I went out there. I don't know if you know, but all of us at Coin Bureau, we all got together in last November, out in Dubai for a big sort of company, away weekend, as it were. And that was my first experience of it. And I've been very curious to go back ever since. But yeah, I haven't really had the opportunity. But yeah, some friends of mine are out there at the moment. They've invited me out. So I'm going to go and stay with them. And they said they know a studio where I can film all the YouTube videos. So don't worry on that front. We're going to keep the content coming. What I do have to warn you about, though, folks, is that you may see some TikTok and Clips channel footage of me probably wearing shorts. So, and also sort of, just generally sort of t-shirts and shorts and sliders and all that. So yeah, if any of you find the prospect of that pretty traumatic, as I know some of you will do, then just FYI. But yeah, that's my plan for the next few weeks. I think because I'm really curious, not only to go out and just kind of experience it, but I really want to see how the crypto scene is developing out there. Because when I was at the Coin Bureau event a few weekends ago, and when I was in Miami last month, so many people were talking about Dubai and all the crypto innovation that's going on there, all the companies that are opening up there. Obviously, we've seen the likes of Binance and FTX and loads of other companies open up Dubai offices. So I'm just kind of curious to go out there and see what it's all about. The more flesh, the better. Thanks, Chris. You won't be saying that. You won't be saying that when my pasty flesh appears all over TikTok and Clips. Thanks. It's a nice sentiment, Chris. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm very, very curious to see what the whole situation in Dubai is like. So that's my plan for the next few weeks. But don't worry, folks. The content will be coming as ever. And hey, maybe this time next week I'll be going live from Dubai, so you can watch me be all smug sitting over. Well, I gather it's too hot to actually go outside, so I'll be in some air-conditioned apartment somewhere. But yeah, so watch out for that, and it will hopefully have better internet than we have here in London. Because yeah, fun fact: the Coin Bureau office internet is some of the worst in the world. Yeah, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. So yeah, what was I was talking? Bring your sandals. Yeah, that's absolutely. Well, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to buy some sliders. Apparently, it's all about sliders now. This is what I keep hearing. Is that true? Am I? I'm not. I'm going to try and send my love to TikTok as well. Sorry, I'm broadcasting on both. But no, I will. I love TikTok and Clips equally so. Where is the lovely Macy hiding? Oh, you guys are just all here for Macy, aren't you? I knew it. Or is that Macy herself texting it? Macy is over in Spain. Yeah, Macy is working from Spain. She's visiting her parents there, who she hasn't seen for a while. So yeah, I mean, this is we like to keep the Coin Bureau decentralized. Practice what we preach. So yeah, I'm afraid you don't get any visual relief from me. I'm afraid you've got to stare at me for the duration of this live stream, and I do apologize for that.
Someone asking, what's your daily routine? Okay, well, I'm going to let you into a little secret. Don't worry, it's nothing horrible. I actually get up at 4:30 in the morning. Now, everyone I tell this to, I can just sense that everyone has just gone, what? Yeah, I get up at 4:30. I'm a morning person. As you can tell, I mean, here we are. It's 25 to 4 here in the UK, and as you can tell, I mean, my brain has basically turned to mush. I'm almost incapable of stringing a sentence together at this point. So yeah, I love getting up as early as possible. I get up at 4:30, and I just go and sit and I eat about, I don't know, about maybe half a ton of toast, drink several gallons of coffee, and just kind of sit and read. And I generally don't actually look at anything crypto related. So I get up 4:30. My phone's been on airplane mode all night, and I will spend about at least an hour sort of reading and just kind of generally chilling out. I might sort of meditate as well, although I tend to do that more when I get into the office now. Then I get on a very early train, which is full of very sleepy people, and I get down here to central London, and then I do sort of 20 minutes just kind of breathing, and then basically I get to it. I get stuck into research. Usually start filming maybe about sort of 9:30 when one of my colleagues comes in, so they can help me with that. And then it's filming sort of throughout the day, and if I'm not filming, I'm sort of researching and doing all that sort of stuff. Tuesdays generally I head off down to Vauxhall to go and record the podcast, and there's a new podcast episode out today, Coinbureau podcast episode. So the last couple were sort of, what the heck's going on? Are we all doomed sort of themed? But this one, the podcast episode today, for anyone interested, is the first part of Ethereum. So if anyone wants a sort of deep dive back into the early days of Ethereum, then keep a lookout for that. I think that should be up now on wherever you get your podcasts, as they say. So keep a lookout for that. Do you think NFTs could have its own bull market within the next 3 years? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point you make, because I think there is a chance that we could see the NFT space, the kind of GameFi metaverse NFT space. I think there's a chance that we could see that decouple from the sort of wider crypto market in the future. So yeah, I wouldn't rule out. I mean, I think we're only just getting started with NFTs, and I get a bit frustrated that so many people associate NFTs just with pictures of monkeys, just with the kind of profile pic things, because I think NFTs are so much more promising than that. They're going to do so much more. They're going to become a part of our life in so much more fundamental ways than just what we can put as our Twitter avatar, or whether we own an ape or a punk, or what are those new ones, the Miladies. Did anyone read that article I read an article, I think it was Cointelegraph, or maybe it was CoinDesk, it might have been CoinDesk, about the Miladies, and I could not understand a word of it. It seemed to be trying to explain where the whole Milady thing had come from and what it was inspired by, and I just felt, every single one of my 39 years, folks, I felt really stupid. I could not understand what this article was going on about. So if anyone can explain the Miladies to me in plain English, that would be much appreciated. So yeah, I'm again, like I say, I'm frustrated that NFTs have just become so much about the whole profile pic thing, because I think the potential for them is so much greater than that. So short answer, yes, I think we could see an NFT bull market again in the future, but I don't think we're going to see any sort of bull markets, any kind of bullish action for a while yet. So hold your horses, folks. And remember, if you think crypto investing is risky and it's hard to pick a winner, then NFT investing is even harder. Again, fundamentals are going to be so important there. Elrond update video soon. Someone was asking me about that. A couple of people asked me about that at the Coin Bureau conference. So yes, I will it is on the list.
And someone else asking, what would you DCA into right now? Well, that's a good question, because I think if you are thinking of investing at the moment, like I say, be very, very careful. But one way to do it is to DCA, to dollar cost average. So for anyone unfamiliar with that, obviously that's dollar cost averaging is where you invest a set amount at the same time regularly. So let's say, for instance, you could invest $100 on the first day of every month, and that's how you invest in crypto. No more, no less. And the reason for investing on the same day is because you don't waste time trying to time the market. And I mean, I say it all the time, timing the market is next to impossible. So don't waste your time trying to do it, but especially during a bear market like the one we're in, folks. Don't waste time trying to time the market. If you're determined to invest, then DCA, dollar cost average in, slowly and carefully. What's good to DCA into at the moment? Well, at the moment, folks, really, I am very, very top heavy on BTC and ETH, and it just comes down to fundamentals, really. I think alts are going to have a really, really tough time, and I don't think the bottom is in on any alts, really. So, yeah. That would be my advice. If you are determined to invest at the moment, if you are looking to allocate a little bit to crypto, then DCA. And at the moment, I can't really see past BTC and ETH for reasons that I'm sure you're all familiar with. I mean, fundamentals as much as anything else. Whisper, your hairline is receding. Help. There's nothing I can do about that. Is mine? I mean, I sort of cover up my receding hairline by just having an enormous amount of hair on top, but I promise I'm not going down up top either. So that's the end. Just comb it forward. Good. Do I think UST will recover? No. Short answer. Like I say, I don't want to say too much more about Terra because, I've got a video all about it on YouTube, on our main channel. But I think I'm kind of avoiding Terra 2.0 at the moment because I don't see how people are going to make their money back. I think forget about UST for the time being. Okay, who sponsors coinbureau? No one sponsors coinbureau. We don't do it like that. We get asked to do sponsored content all the time, and we just don't do it because, as I say to people who ask, it's how can we give an objective review of something we're reviewing if we're sponsored by them. So if you're interested, I mean, the way that we fund the channel is through, we have partnerships, we have affiliate links with various people. You can find all those. I've got a deals page. So if you go to our main YouTube channel, if you click on the description of any of the videos there, you'll see the deals page, and you can see all the kind of deals that we've got with kind of, exchanges and various platforms and things like that. Do check that out because there's some good deals there. We've got some very, very good people, not me, very clever people working on some great deals for you here at coinbureau. So that's why we don't do sponsored content and we don't do ads because let's face it, no one likes ads, do they? I cannot stand YouTube adverts. They're one of my least favorite things. Okay, hello from Greece. Hello, I'm so glad to see. I'm so glad to see, as usual, such a wonderfully international audience joining us today. Do I ever watch WWE? XRP thoughts? Okay, WWE first. No, I used to. I remember I went through a phase of it when I was much younger. Back when it was WWF, and then I think they had copyright issues with the World Wildlife Fund or whatever it was. But who was my favorite when it was WWF? I was a big fan of The Undertaker and the Legion of Doom. And if no one knows what I'm talking about, then I don't blame you because these are just the ravings of a middle-aged man. So I'll leave it there. What was the other question? Moon Knight, were they a WWF wrestler? I mean, I got the physique for it, right? The question, what was the other question? Oh yeah, about XRP. Well, I mean, I looked into the XRP case recently. I mean, this whole court case, this whole battle with the SEC, that is not going to be resolved until the end of this year at least, because there are court dates set. I think there's a court date set for this summer, and there's a court date set for December as well. So obviously so much of XRP's potential is kind of tied up with what happens with this lawsuit with the SEC, and it's so difficult to tell who's going to come out on top of that. I think XRP probably is ahead by a whisker, but yeah, who knows how this is all going to pan out. So yeah, kind of sit tight on that, folks. And obviously, if we have more sort of developments in the XRP SEC case, then I'll keep you posted on those. But I did do a video on that quite recently. So if you're interested in kind of the latest on that, again, check out our main channel. Okay. Right. So what else did I want to talk about today? A few other things I noticed as well. We saw ARK Invest and 21 Shares. They resubmitted their applications for Bitcoin spot ETFs. I mean, my first thought was, well, that's not bearish at all, is it? That's good news. They still want to they want to get these spot Bitcoin ETFs approved. And my second thought was, after everything that we've seen over the past couple of weeks, good luck with that, guys. Good luck with that. Although I would love to see a Bitcoin spot ETF in the United States, this is not something I'm holding my breath on. And it's even less likely in a bear market. Okay. What else did I want to talk about? There was obviously a lot of talk around Tether as well. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to spread any kind of Tether-related FUD. I noticed that there had been a lot of Terra had honored a lot of redemptions, around sort of $10 billion worth of redemptions recently, and it was really good to see that there didn't seem to be many issues around that. We did see it briefly slip its peg a couple of years ago, but it seems to have recovered that. So that is a good sign to me. But what it does say, folks, is that if you are holding stable coins, then please, folks, diversify your holdings of stable coins. And so if you've got everything in USDT, or if you've got everything in USDC or DAI or BUSD or whatever it is, then please spread that risk. Because as we saw with UST, and I know a lot of people who had a lot of their dry powder. Some people had basically all of their stablecoin, all of their dry powder sitting in UST, and we all know what happened there. So yeah, if we take anything out of the last 2 weeks, please, folks, make sure your stablecoin holdings are diversified. So yeah, I mean, I would say, kind of two or three different stables at least, because you just never know. And what's been interesting is if you look at the market cap of stablecoins, the market cap of Tether has kind of dipped a bit because of a lot of redemptions and because of some of that FUD. We've also seen the market cap of USDC. They've kind of been coming together a little bit, which is interesting. Now, obviously, USDC is owned by Circle, which is a big US-based company, which is going public, I think, very soon. It's going public, if I remember rightly, by a special purpose acquisition company, a SPAC. And obviously, Circle has always been sort of quite forthcoming, as has Paxos as well, which obviously USDP. They've always been quite sort of forthcoming about the reserves that they have backing their stable coins. So I think there are a lot of people sort of see them as a kind of safe haven. And obviously, there is no such thing as a 100% safe haven in crypto or stables at the moment, which again is why I say, please, folks, diversify your stablecoin holdings. So how else are we getting on? What else? Will Tether implode eventually? I mean, there's always a risk. There's always a risk, and that goes for any crypto project, which is again, why I say diversify. But I mean, I have to say, Tether has held up well with the redemptions. People have been cashing in their USDT, and they have been getting dollars back for it. So that has been good to see, because the absolute last thing we want is to see Tether go down, because that would just be really, really crappy. But yeah, folks, hedge against that just in case. The other thing I wanted to mention, just again, talking about the kind of general state of the market. I mean, there are so many good podcast episodes at the moment out there talking about the current situation that we're in at the moment and kind of what's been going on. Another good one, again featuring our friend Kobe. He's all over the place at the moment. Do check out Unchained, Laura Shin's podcast. A recent episode of that, I think the penultimate one, the most recent one, but one. She was talking to Chris Beniske and Kobe, and they were sort of talking about stable coins and everything in general, as well as the kind of state of the market. Again, a really, really fascinating conversation. So, and Unchained is, it's got a bit wobbly there. Unchained is a podcast I listen to all the time, and Laura Shin is amazing. So do check that out. A lot of people, obviously, we saw a big old pump. Basically, it's all red across the board, isn't it? But we did see a big pump from XCN, from Chain. Now, I haven't had a chance to really sort of look into that project an awful lot. What I did sort of see, though, was that 92% of the trading volume for that was on one exchange, on Huobi. So, and it has kind of got limited exchange support, which suggests that there is a bit of manipulation going on there, folks. So, and the project itself only has sort of 112k ish followers on Twitter, so it's not kind of got a massive social following at the moment. That's not to say it's not potentially a great project, but do be careful, especially when you see kind of massive pumps like this going against the rest of the market. Don't take that as a signal to ape in like crazy, because as I've been saying throughout this stream, you've got to be even more careful than normal in this sort of situation. Okay, was there anything else that I wanted to mention? Any other things that you had for me? Live stream. Yeah. Do you enjoy these live streams? I mean, I'm hoping to. Well, obviously, it's much more fun when I'm joined by Macy, isn't it? Because we can throw a bit of shade at each other and kind of bounce off, and I can spend a bit more time sort of on the comments and things like that. But I'm glad you enjoy these, folks. I really enjoy doing them as well. I hope I'm getting better at them too. It's kind of a new thing for me, because I've been so sort of wrapped up doing our current sort of YouTube, the kind of format that we have on YouTube, and obviously expanding to our Clips channel and to TikTok as well, and doing videos for Instagram and all this sort of stuff, as well as handling Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So this live thing is all still a bit new to me. I've done a few of these now, but I hope that you find them useful and entertaining. And I know there's so many different projects that you'd like me to talk about on these, and it's so difficult to know which ones really. And at the moment, I think it's difficult to talk about any particular project until I think we've given a bit of time for this kind of situation to settle down a bit, to see how this bear market is panning out. But I think all coins are going to see more lows over the coming weeks and months. And as I said at the top of the stream, folks, please be prepared. Please be digging in for a long period, a long bear market. I'm not going to give you any kind of hopium on that in that respect here today, but dig in for the long term, folks, because it's the long term players who stick around. They are the ones who make good in the end. And I remember back in 2018, I knew a lot of people who were into crypto at that point, and quite a few of them kind of dropped out. They lost interest, they lost heart, they lost morale. And when it all started kicking off again, I got more messages from them from sort of anyone else. All the people who kind of stayed in were too busy just watching everything go nuclear. But I got so many messages from people who'd kind of cashed out in 2018, thrown up their hands and walked away. And so don't be those people in 2024 or 25 or whenever it is that the bulls come back to town, folks. Stick around and treat this as an opportunity to learn, to do some research. Don't get caught up in the hype or anything like that. So I think Do Kwon still involved in crypto? Well, I hope not. Do Kwon is I mean, I think he does seem to be involved with Terra 2.0 as far as I can tell. Hi, Michael Bublé. Are you saying you're Michael Bublé or I'm Michael Bublé? Lara, do I look like Michael Bublé?
Well, maybe you can sing.
Yeah, I can't sing.
Michael Bublé. Wow, I'm gonna take that one. I'm gonna put that one in the bank. Thank you very much. Thoughts on Near Protocol? I covered Near Protocol quite recently. There's a long form YouTube video on that. The thing that struck me about Near was the just uncanny resemblance to Solana. I mean, it's really, really weird. They're even based in the same part of the world, but the tech is really, really similar. Obviously, it's been tough for Solana recently. I mean, it's been tough for everything recently, hasn't it? So yeah, can't really. Again, it's difficult to single out any particular coin or token in this sort of in these circumstances, is it? Laura, we love her. Laura, you're getting love on the TikTok. Isn't that nice? Thanks, guys. Yeah, Laura, give Laura a lot of love. Mm-hmm. She's basically supporting the whole. She's keeping the whole show on the road today. She's the reason I managed to get on the live stream today, because as usual I was wrestling with the tech, couldn't turn the tablet on, couldn't turn the phone on, phone was out of battery. Doe Clown, yeah, I like that. I like Doe, yeah. It's look like Alex Hassel. Who's Alex Hassel? Is Lara your daughter? Steady on. I'm not that old, folks. Gosh. Lara says she's not that young. So no, I don't have a daughter. So, and it's certainly not Lara. Oh dear. Okay. What else was I going to talk about? I mentioned that I think it's tomorrow I'm going to put out the video on Lido finance. So that's something to look out for. And we've got other videos coming up over the course. What have I been filming this week? We've got I've got a GameFi report coming out soon. Lido Finance, as I mentioned. I've also got a video on when I think the bear market might end. Obviously, I've been talking about at least 1 or 2 years. But if you want to kind of deeper dive into that, then that's going to be on YouTube. So check that out. People coming in to say hi. Thank you. Very kind of you. Very kind of you to come in and say hi. Love your content, darling. Oh, thank you, darling. Great. So showing love for Mad Mike. Love the podcast. He'll be very, very pleased to hear that. Mad Mike is he won't admit it, but he does love getting a bit of love. So I will pass that on. Okay, when do you think the most new project will come? I'm not quite sure what you mean, but yeah, okay. So I mean, we are going to see a lot of new projects arise over the course of the bear market, and I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on some of those, because let's face it, a lot of the cryptos that are flying high at the moment, a lot of the big projects, not all of them are going to make it through this bear market. And again, this comes back to what I was saying. Fundamentals are more important now than ever. So yeah, do keep that in mind, folks. But yeah, there are going to be new projects cropping up, and that could be some of the best opportunities for this bear market, which again is why I say take the time to do research. Don't go FOMOing in, because actually the great thing about a bear market really is that it gives you time. Can Mad Mike come on the live stream? My God, are you ready for that? Do you think you guys are ready for Mad Mike on the live stream? I mean, I can ask him, but I think that may break the internet, folks. I'm not sure the world is ready for live Mad Mike. I mean, I experience him live on a regular basis. I've been experiencing live Mad Mike on and off for 25 years. It's tough. It's tough, folks. I don't think you guys are ready for that. So, am I employed by JP Morgan? No. Wow. I don't know. Do I look? I don't think JP Morgan would have me. Certainly not in this state. Someone was asking, you all want Mad Mike now. Oh goodness. First you were all clamoring for Macy, and now you're clamoring for Mad Mike. Well, I'm not going to tell him that, because it'll go completely to his head. And like I say, you guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready. Okay. So what's the time? Goodness me, it's nearly 4 o'clock. I've been rambling on for an hour. Guy, can I live in your garden in a tent? Well, I mean, yes. My garden is. I mean, the garden is actually very nice. I've worked hard on my garden recently, but I have let the lawn sort of overgrow itself a bit. So I've gone for the kind of wild lawn look. So there's lots of wild flowers there. So it may be, it may not be ideal for camping.
Anyway, that was a little bit off topic, wasn't it? So, any thoughts on Freeway Finance? I'm not familiar with them, but again, this is one of the opportunities that I'm going to take during this bear market. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to spend a lot more time kind of digging into these new projects, and that's again something that you guys can do as well. Please do, use the bear market, use the time that we're going to get there free of hype to just kind of look in, do your research. Take the time to do it, because it will pay off in the long term, folks. Okay, Guy, are you an aristocrat? I know I'm a peasant like everyone else, but I just like to pretend that I'm an aristocrat. I just like to put on the voice and try and convince people otherwise. I don't know. Well, maybe I am doing a good job of it. Yeah. Anyway, folks, it's 4 o'clock. I think I've inflicted enough of myself on you for this week. So yeah, just to let you know, just to remind you, those of you who've just joined or those of you missed it earlier, at some point next week, I'm going to fly out to Dubai for a few weeks, stay with some friends there, check out the crypto scene. But don't worry, because the videos will still be coming as normal. My friends have tracked down a studio that I can film in, so all the good Coin Bureau content that you love will be coming your way. And as I warned you, I am going to be doing some sort of clips and TikTok content from Dubai as well. So that means you do have to look at me in shorts, and you do have to watch me, sort of smug it out next to a pool in the sunshine, quite possibly. But yes, thank you very much, and yeah, thank you. I will have a good trip, and thanks for joining us, everyone. I will see you. Well, I'm going to try and go live from Dubai next week, so I hope you can join me then. And have a great weekend. It's all kicking off in London this weekend. I think there's Jubilee stuff, isn't there? There's the Champions League football. Who's going to win the Champions League? Can anyone tell me? I need to know. Let me know who's going to win the Champions League, and I'll have a quick punt on. It's Madrid. Everyone's saying Madrid. Madrid. Oh, Liverpool. Okay. All right. I can see I'm going to have to toss a coin. I was relying on you for answers, guys. Liverpool is winning on TikTok. Madrid appears to be winning on clips. Oh, it's difficult. No, I think it's looking like Liverpool. Okay, interesting. All right, thanks so much for joining me, folks. And let's hopefully next week it'll come live stream from Dubai, and I might even have Macy joining as well. So fingers crossed. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for joining, and I will see you all very, very soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Mwah. Mwah. Okay. And